I got something to say, got something to say.
My name is Rashid bin Qadir. Welcome to the Conversion to Islam podcast. You know, Islam is the fastest growing religion on the planet. So we wanted to create this space so that we can listen to and learn from those individuals who have embraced this tradition. Further, we want to educate those researching Islam. If you've taken your Shahada recently, we want you to know that you are not alone. And if you take your declaration of faith many, many years ago, God willing, this will recharge your spiritual battery. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we'd like to welcome everyone to another installation of the Conversion to Islam podcast. And so once again, we greet you in the tradition of Islam. Assalamu alaikum. And we start every event by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll start with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Qala rabbi sadri wa yassir li amri wa luqtatan min lisani wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. We testify that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his final slave and his messenger. So once again, welcome to our podcast. And so we're going to go ahead and introduce all of our guests now. All right. So my name is Rashid Thomas, and I'm with the Conversion to Islam podcast group. And our co-host today is Sister Sakina Abdul Jabbar, alhamdulillah, very learned and scholarly sister. And I'm looking very forward to her joining us today. And then we have Sister Mateenah Jackson, who we've known for a while, and she has a very compelling and a very lovely story. So we wanted to go ahead and turn it over to her to share that story with us, inshallah ta'ala.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Rashid and Sakina, for bringing me on to the show, the podcast. I'm looking forward to talking to you all and sharing my story. Of course, it's the abbreviated version, but I wanted to start off and just mention, my journey and how I progressed to Islam. It's going to seem kind of odd to many of you, but my journey actually started as a Christian. I spent 42 years as a Christian and very active in the church, in the choir, a lot of the different auxiliaries and part of the missionary groups and different roles that I played in the church. And then after 42 years, I realized that, there's something else. There's something I need to explore. So with that, I decided to take 2 years to explore religion, to explore God, to find God, if you will. And so my journey took me to many different types of religions, such as Christianity, of course, and then Buddhism. I practiced Hinduism, Judaism, Catholicism, all the isms. Took me on a 2-year tour. India, experienced the Hindu version of things, and Brazil, checked out the Catholics and how they practice. And during my journey, I realized that it looks like everybody is just trying to reach the same goal. Everybody is, quote unquote, trying to get to heaven, to paradise. And so there's a lot of different similarities there. During my journey, for some reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, I was not to explore Islam right away. Actually had it down last on my list. And one of the reasons is because I have a lot of family members that are Muslim, and I didn't want to be influenced by, any feedback or anyone. I wanted this to, just to be a decision that was made just solely on my experience. So I chose to check Islam out last. My brother actually introduced me to Islam, my sister Shakura, brother Sadiq. Both had influences there. I actually went to some conferences, listened to a lot of YouTube, a lot of speakers in the conferences. And in 2000, which is, I'm sorry, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called me to Islam. And the way that happened is just one morning, I believe it was June 29th, 2014, I woke up That morning, I brushed my teeth, I looked in the mirror, and I said, it's time. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that it was time for me to explore Islam. And not only explore, I was all in. And this was all based on all my research that I've done over the 2 years. I called my brother and I said, Brother, I'm ready. It's time. And he came right over and he gave me my Shahada. He also asked me, do you know what today is? And I, no idea. Today is June 29th, 2014. He said, today is the first day of Ramadan. He said, you sure you didn't know that? No, I had no clue. This was all driven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the feeling that I got, I just broke down and just sobbed because I felt like this long journey, this 2-year journey of trying to find myself and trying to find God and find religion, this 2-year journey was finally to an end. So I thought, well, once I took my Shahada, I realized that, this journey continues. It's now, just shutting down everything else and going, full into Islam. I still had a relationship with all the different faiths, and I didn't want to just shut that down. So how can I incorporate that? And I start exploring different interfaith groups and how I can, become, and that's just me, how I can become inundated in those groups as well as practice my religion. Very respectful, very peaceful religion. I was so, so happy that that was the choice that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given me. All my studies, all the things that I've learned along the way, and, bringing me here to you guys today to actually talk about what it means to accept the religion of Islam. A lot of people think that, it's hard, it's rigid, there's so many rules, there's so many things that you have to do, and it really isn't. It's very simple. It's very simple. And so I just wanted to share my story during the 42 years of Christianity coming up, and I mentioned that earlier, is that it's what brought me to where I am today. So a lot of my friends and family that I know that were in the church, actually lost some friends that just didn't understand and couldn't understand why I would make such a drastic move. But then also have friends that stuck with me and really believed in me and realized that I'm still the same person. We just practice a different faith. And so that journey and all the things as a Christian that I've learned actually kind of catapulted me up to, I felt like I was going to a higher level, or, it was just time to move on into something, more, and I'm not putting down Christianity at all, just a more higher, closer relationship with God. And what I mean there is, there's no theatrics. It's just me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no middleman. There's nothing. Just straight me and God. And I love that. It actually brings me to tears right now just thinking about it. Just that I can go straight to Allah and not have to, go through anything else or talk to anyone else. I can talk directly to him. And it's probably always been that way, but just the places that I was in at that time actually made me feel that I needed to have that mediator.
Right. Right.
Another, mhm,
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Just add a quick question for you.
sure.
What do you think, um, when after you researched all the traditions and whatnot, what was it that brought you to Islam? What did you read? What did you see? What was it about the deen that brought you in?
Peace. I needed peace. Excuse me, because I was going through a lot in 2014. And I just, and a very spiritual person I am, without religion, meditating and just having that connection with God already. But I had a lot of things going on around me, and that had to do with, health issues or uh, family issues. And I just needed peace. And I think, you know, I just wanted peace and quiet. And that's what Islam was giving me. That's what, kind of crossed me over to that threshold. For 2 years, I was fighting it. Like I said, I didn't want to, go there. I chose to go last, because I felt like something must have, was kind of pushing me in that direction, but something was kind of also holding me back because it knows that I was going to go all in. And that's what I tend to do on anything, is I go all in, and everybody knows that. All people that I work with or friends and family, they know if I committed to something, I'm committing to it 110%. I'm going all in. And that push was, I don't know, Rashid. I just woke up one morning and that was it. The search was over. It's very exhausting, trying to figure out what you're going to do, which way you're going to go. And that's where I landed.
Did you have a question, Sister Sakina? I see it building up there.
Yeah, yeah. You talked about your family and friends, especially the friends of the church. How did that go over? What was that conversation like?
Some of it was hurtful, because, the question I kept getting was, why are you doing this? Why? And actually someone did ask me, why are you doing this to us? And as I mentioned, you guys know me, I'm very active in the masjid, very active in Islam. The same passion that you see in me now, I had that same passion in the church. So I was very influential in different areas and auxiliaries of the church. So me leaving was huge, and some people took it personal, and it was hurtful. But over time, I get more, I see it's a beautiful thing. They actually, when they see something on TV or hear about Muslims now, they can relate that with Mateenah, and they can ask me questions and I can answer to the best of my ability.
Alhamdulillah. And one thing I think there's one beautiful part that's of the story here is that Allah put you on a path and on a journey, right? Because you tried all the other faiths, you tested them, you looked at them, you made sure that they were for you or not for you. But then you ended up coming to Islam. So if you could speak to that journey and how you feel Allah sort of guided you through all of that, because you seem like the type of person that you have to make up your own mind, right? You have to make it up for yourself. So how did that come into play in the whole process?
Yeah, actually, when I set myself out for that journey, I knew that I was going to take it, and so it was purposeful, and like just willy nilly. I'm gonna go here, go there. I purposely set out. Okay, I'm going to see what what do these people do? How do they worship God? And what are the differences? So I take notes, and I'm treat it like it's a project or something like that. But actually,
step 3, step 4.
Yeah. One of the things that I did want to mention is that my father was a Baptist preacher. And although my mother and father were divorced, I spent a lot of times with my dad, and I really actually was thinking, I don't want to let him down. But however, I lost my father before I took my Shahada. But part of that, just, when I lost him, it was almost like, okay, it's okay. You can do what you want to do now. And the journey with all the different religions, and I'm still part of the Interfaith Council. So I still, am very appreciative and still going out and visiting all the different faiths. But I realized, as I mentioned earlier, there's just one common goal. We're all trying to get there. And it's no matter what faith you're in, which spirituality, we're all connected in some way, and we're all, just have this one common goal there. It's just how you practice. I love the discipline. Some people ask, how can you do, you got to pray 5 times a day, you got to do this, you got all the rules and things. I don't look at it as rules. I look at it as just confirmation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as far as always having him on my mind, always having God on my mind. In the other faiths and in Christianity, I can pray, every Sunday or once a day or not. I can do things, and it's permissible. I needed that guidance. I needed that structure, and it's not for everybody, but because I have that now, it's the remembrance of Allah, that constant thread, that connectivity. If I miss a prayer or if I hear the adhan, it's always there, and I love it. I'm just constantly connected, and I love that. And I didn't see that in the other faiths.
Did you find yourself in your journeys of exploring other faiths? Did you find more support in the exploring of other faiths than you did in the accepting of Islam?
No, I did not. Every faith, when they know you're new, you're coming in, you're just visiting, they all embrace me, all of them, because it almost seemed like, you're selling something, come and learn more about us, and, come to this class, that class, and I'm up front letting them know, I'm just exploring, just checking you out. And, so, no, I felt the same. One thing though, in Islam, what I felt when I went to the mosque is there were no theatrics. You can get in a corner, sit on the floor, no chairs, no pews, and just, have that peace and reverence. I love it, and not having to talk to anybody, not having to present anything or do anything. It's just me and Allah. And even if I'm in there with thousands of people, as you've seen and experienced, I still feel that personal, individualized experience, as if I'm there all by myself.
Yeah, and have to go back to the early days of my meeting you. I remember the day at the fundraiser where you spoke about Suhaib Webb. So of course I have to ask you about that. But also shortly after that, I remember you walking into a meeting at Salam and just like immediately wanting to work. So if you could touch on Suhaib Webb and also what working for the Deen and working for Islam, working for a masjid, what that all means to you and how that can be injected into what other Muslims can do, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. So I was working a project in Boston, Massachusetts, and looking for, this was right after I took my Shahada. And I know I need to stay connected, so that I can get fed. And just Google is your friend, So I was trying
Google?
to find a masjid. Say Google. So I Googled, New Muslim, Boston area, So I found a masjid, ISBCC, and Sahib Webb was the imam there at the time. And again, this was back in 2014, 15. And when I went to this masjid, it was so lively. I mean, all the time they had everything. They had stores, restaurants, gym. I mean, it was amazing. And I actually went there every day. There are classes round the clock. I loved it. I spent a lot of time there, and I learned a lot there. And what happened is I came out to California, and for I don't remember what year it was, but that you're talking about. I found out that he was going to be in town in Sacramento, and I was like, no way, wow. So I actually bought tickets to the event, and when I was at the event, I just couldn't help myself.
I think that was 2017.
Oh,
But
okay.
I was
Yeah,
doing math in my head.
2007.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
well,
around
good.
2017 because
yeah.
I moved to Sacramento in 2017. So,
Okay, alhamdulillah.
yep.
Wow. Were you there,
Time
Sakina?
flies. SubhanAllah, I didn't know you were
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So we went, but yeah. So it was just,
Wow.
yeah, because that's the year I came. So I think
Wow.
that was the year that he had came. Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Mm,
And that's when I met
That's
Martina as
amazing.
well.
Whoa.
wow.
No,
Oh, so
I didn't meet her there, but we met that year in 2017 doing another mutual sister that we
SubhanAllah. So we're all
Yeah.
tied together, but we're
yeah, so we all
connected.
Yeah,
tied
yeah, yeah.
together. Yeah.
And we didn't know. The
Alhamdulillah.
lost plan. Wow,
I
look at
met you
this.
both in 2017.
Whoa. So that was a big
Wow.
year. Alhamdulillah.
Very big, very
Yeah,
big.
mashallah.
Yeah. But I saw him, and I think Rashid, I'm sure you heard I was trying to get up there to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um or get to the stage or something. I just had to say something because I felt like, he was influential as far as my dean. He actually prepared me, with all the classes and all the things that they had going on, that I got so much education in Boston that wherever I went, I just took that with me. And so to actually see that, and I wanted to actually just thank him, and you guys allowed me to do that. I had no problem getting up there and just saying thank you, because not for bringing me to the faith, but for keeping me in the faith, for educating me and showing me that it's not all, just study and pray or whatever. There are people having fun, there's classes, there's lots of learning, and then other activities. And it just kind of morphed into moving into Sacramento and looking for that same thing. And if it's not here, I'm going to build it. I need to have that connection, not just with the masjid, and not just with the religion, but also with the people. And so that's what made me just want to become active. And I was that way. I was looking for something to get into, and that's why when there was opportunity, we need help, because somebody do this, do that, I'm all in. I'm all in. And it's not about the blessings either. It's all about the connection. It's very important. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Well, that leads me to one of my questions, as far as what do you think people that are coming into Islam need as that motivation to stay in Islam? Because sometimes people will come in and then they don't have a support system. You found your support system. So what types of things and ideas do you think we should have in place to help those who are coming into Islam to learn their Islam and to get connected in the community, to have that type of support system within the community?
Alhamdulillah. So first thing I want to say, and this was advice given to me by an imam in Dallas, Texas, because I travel for my job. So wherever I go, I'm going to the masjid, I'm talking, hey, I'm new, show me around, whatever. And I immediately wanted to learn Arabic right out the gate. I want to learn to read the Quran. I'm like a month in, it's like, I need to do this, let's go. And I can't remember the imam's name, but he kind of pulled me to the side and he said, sister, you're doing great things. You're so excited. And he told me, and this is my advice to any new Muslims, that this is a journey. It's not a race. We don't want to get to a point where you get burnt out, and you have to think realistically, like, can you really learn this whole, because I said, I'm going to learn this Quran, within like 6 months in Arabic. I didn't know. I like
it's
to
a
set
journey.
goals,
Yeah, it's a journey.
And when he heard me say that, he was taken aback, like, it, me not knowing, I don't know what's in it or how big it is and all, but I'm so thankful that he said that to me, because I really would have wore myself down to do that very thing. I would probably quit my job and, just went all in and tried to do it. But when he told me that, it made me pull back and just take a look at what it would take for me to do that. And the whole journey and not a race, it actually allowed to uh, break it down into pieces, and to compartmentalize things and how I would achieve the different goals, and look at it as, a journey, a lifetime journey. And then be also on top of that, all the other things that I want to do, you know, and being able to do those things as far as with the community and other outreach areas, that I'm able to, learn the Quran, learn Arabic, as well as join the community. So I thank him for that. That was a really good piece of advice. As far as new Muslims and people that I deal with now, I hate to lose. I guess I'm just like that way. And
Competitive that way.
I don't want to lose any new Muslims. So I give them that advice, as well as, it's because I am who I am, and I'm, the type of person that is very competitive, very can't come up with the word, but I go all in anything that I do. I understand that everybody's not that way. And so that took a lot for me to understand, like, why aren't they doing these things? Why isn't, why do they have to be prompted? But that's their way. So, patience, with me being patient with other people, and then them being patient with their faith, and being able to understand that this is a journey, and take baby steps, but don't quit, don't stop, just keep going, even if it's just a little bit every day. And please reach out to people. You reach out to, your fellow Muslims, and stay connected with the masjid. It's always going to be someone there that you can talk to, or someone there that you can ask questions if you need to. Everybody's so welcoming and so open.
I would like to also add to our viewers that Sister Mateenah is very active in the Salam Care for Converts, right? So she does a lot of interacting and helping of those new Muslims that are coming along, getting them set up for classes. And you could speak a little bit about that if you would like. So that way, those who are viewing that may not have some type of connection, or they want to be Muslim, or they're interested in the religion, can have some place that they can call, or someone they can contact to keep connected.
Yes, I do like connections. So I actually connect people with other people.
Yeah.
That's just a gift that I have. I do like to lead and try to help others. So if I see somebody, or somebody, actually, a lot of times somebody calls me and say, hey, there's a new Muslim over here, can you give them a call? I'll do that. But in addition to that, I know that we need resources. We need places to meet. We need to be able to open up and talk to someone at any time. If I see that that's not happening, then I try to create it, or try to get someone to help, and see what can we do in this area to make sure that we keep our community tight. You see other faiths, they have their different ways that they reach out to their community. I think that we can do the same, if not more. So a lot of new Muslims are coming from other faiths, and we have to respect that, and then also be able to show them what we have. So it's very important to me to make sure that that connection is made, and that it sticks. So that's a big thing for me.
Alhamdulillah. All right, so we'll I guess the final question, and then inshallah ta'ala, Sister Sakina once could close us out with a beautiful dua, because I know you got the beautiful words in you, inshallah. With Ramadan coming up, and there being new Muslims out there, because we have had a high influx of shahadas during COVID. And so this could be their first or second Ramadans. So I was wondering if you had any advice, because I know you're into good deeds and doing things of that nature, but if you have any advice that folks can do to prepare for Ramadan and or do during Ramadan, if you have any advice for new Muslims in that space.
It's all about connection. I'm going to say that again. So, and it's hard now. This is to wherever. But right now we're in a season of challenge and tribulation with the COVID. But even though we have all this going on, there's still ways to connect. We have lots of things that are streamed and online, but then they also have in-service things now going on as well. My advice would be to please try to reach out to your local masjid. If you know any Muslims or anybody that's in your circle or not, and you see online, feel free to reach out. Everybody that I've known in this religion has been so open. I've never heard anybody say no. It's always, if they don't know, they're going to find it for you. So I'm speaking to, not just local new Muslims in Sacramento, but this anywhere in the world. We have, I believe, over 6 billion Muslims. So there's somebody that you can connect with.
Right.
And feel free. Rashid has this program. This is another way to reach out and stay connected. One last thing I want to note is that I did have the opportunity to experience what we call Umrah, a pilgrimage in 2019. And that also was life-changing for me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called me there, and I had the opportunity, and I'm very appreciative, because not many people, not all people get to go. I was a little surprised. I feel really blessed to have went, because I didn't realize that this isn't, it's not the norm, in our country, that everybody gets to go. So by me going, that even just rose the bar up even higher. And inshallah, that all the people that's watching this will have a chance to go and make Umrah and Hajj once again.
Inshallah. And we would, on that note, would love to have you back to talk about, I know you have some feeling about deeds and how we approach those, but even a further discussion about Umrah and your experience there, and at that being a level of encouragement, because I think the new Muslim, those thinking about Islam, and the veteran Muslim all could benefit from your story, because I know that was very heartfelt process that you had gone through. So yeah, we'd love to have you back to talk about that, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. All right, Sister Sakina.
Okay, all right. Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Wal ars inna insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa aminu solihati wa tawassal bil haqqi wa tawassal bis sabr. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamu alal mursalin wal alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran, Sister Mateenah, for joining us. I really enjoyed your story. I've known you now for 4 years, and I learn something new about you all the time. I enjoy working with you as well.
MashaAllah. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode, inshallah. All right. Assalamu alaikum.
I got something to say.
Thank you for spending time with us here at C2I. We hope that you found this beneficial. And if so, you know exactly what to do. Smash the subscribe, like, and share button. And for additional content and other conversion stories, please see our YouTube playlist, the Facebook page, the Conversion to Islam website, or any of your favorite podcast applications. Onwards and upwards towards the light.